We love to garden. Let's talk about why.
Hi everybody, welcome to Living Traditions Homestead. This is Sarah and Kevin, and we have been tagged by Chuck from Fensterfarm Greenhouse to talk with you a little bit about why we love to garden. And there are 5 questions that we've been asked to answer, and we have been happy to do that.
So the first question that we were asked was, why do we garden? And simply, for me, we garden because we eat. We tried very hard to buy as little food as possible in a grocery store. So, we raise most of our own meat. We raise as many of our own vegetables as we can. And, we just really try to buy only the very bare necessities at a grocery store.
And it happens to go really well with the fact that I love to garden. I love to dig in the dirt, I love to grow things, and we all like to eat things that we've grown in the garden and raised on our homestead.
Right. Everybody talks about the difference between a homegrown tomato versus a store-bought tomato, but you know what? It's really that way with everything that you grow yourself. It's just so much better, so much more flavor, and really so much more nutritious. I encourage everybody to take advantage of whatever size space you have to grow as much of your own food as you can.
The next question is, how long have you been gardening? Well, Kevin and I both grew up in families that gardened. My mom did a lot of gardening, but it was more with flowers. So I learned at a really young age about gardening. I would help her plant, I would help her water and weed. And then when I got to be a teenager, we also had then had a small vegetable garden, which I was really interested in, and I helped in that as well.
Right, and I was fortunate enough to also grow up in a family that gardened. My parents gardened, and then my grandma lived right next door to us, and she always helped. And we had one kind of big garden for all of us, so it worked out really well. And then when Sarah and I got married, to be honest, the first quite a few years, we didn't do any gardening at all. We were focused on our careers and everything else. And then once we started to have children and raise a family, we decided that it was going to be an important part of raising our kids and teaching them the lessons that we had learned, and gardening definitely played a role in our childhood, and we wanted that to be a part of our children's as well. So the next question is, what do you grow? This might be a long list. We grow tomatoes, peppers, cucumbers, beans, peas, okra,
broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage, onions, birdhouse gourds, loofah sponges, potatoes, sweet potatoes, corn,
beets, turnips, rutabagas, kohlrabi,
lettuce,
carrots,
spinach, zucchini,
oregano, thyme,
rosemary,
basil,
mint, marjoram, comfrey, lemon balm,
asparagus,
rhubarb, chamomile, onions.
You said that, we already said onions.
Green onions.
Garlic. That might be it. That might be it.
Fruit trees, peaches,
oh, yeah.
apples, pears, cherries, plums,
blackberries, raspberries,
boysenberries, wild blackberries.
God grows those for us.
Oh, yeah. Black walnuts, hickory nuts. God grows those for us too.
That might be it. There's probably more. There's probably more.
There's more on the list for that for this year, that's for sure.
Right, that was just last year.
That was last year.
This year we're expanding, so stay tuned.
The next question is, what is our favorite thing to grow? And Kevin needs to start because I haven't picked yet.
My favorite thing to grow is tomatoes. Hands down, tomatoes. It's something that if you're a tomato lover, you sit around all winter just dreaming of that first homegrown tomato of the year. And I'll tell you, here in Missouri especially, there's something about the water and the soil. Those tomatoes do not disappoint. They are amazing. So my favorite thing by far is tomatoes. I like every kind of tomato. I like cherry tomatoes. I like grape tomatoes. I like big tomatoes. I like all tomatoes. If we could grow the entire garden of tomatoes, I would. But
that'd be a lot of work.
Since Sarah does all the canning, she won't go for it.
Well, if I liked tomatoes, which I actually don't. I don't like tomatoes.
You don't like raw tomatoes?
I don't like raw tomatoes. I like every other kind of cooked tomato, but I don't like raw tomatoes. So even though I really enjoy growing tomatoes because I know how much happiness it brings to Kevin and my daughter Samantha, Grace is kind of like me. That's not necessarily my favorite, but you know, gosh, I don't know. I don't think I have a favorite. I just, in general, I love to grow everything. I think I just like the satisfaction of growing things that produce something in the end. I like to grow tomatoes. I like to grow zucchini and butternut squash, and the loofah sponges, or the loofah gourds, excuse me, were fun last year. The birdhouse gourds were really fun last year. Yeah. I love growing herbs because I like to be able to spice up our food.
Yeah.
I just like growing.
Every year we have something that does better than we expected and is really fun. Last year we grew popcorn, which we had never done before, and it was amazing. We still have a ton of it. We're still eating it all the time for snacks. So. And
pinto beans. We thought they were going to do nothing at all.
I don't think we said pinto beans when we went through the other list.
And that was a surprise. It was a lot of fun. They did really well.
So the bottom line is, my favorite is tomatoes. Sarah's favorite is everything else.
Yes. I just like to grow. That's it.
So the final question is, why do we produce YouTube videos?
Right.
And you know, the real answer is, we started this channel as a way to document us buying this homestead and buying a piece of property that was pretty, you know, it hadn't been worked for a long time. And so we wanted to just kind of document everything we were doing, so someday our kids and grandkids and everyone else can come back and watch these videos and see how much the land changed and what things we did to make it where it is in the future.
And we've had a great time. We absolutely love to do these YouTube videos. We love everybody that we have met through the YouTube community and the homesteading community. And ultimately, it has ended up being an opportunity for us to generate an income and help support our homestead, which has been a really nice surprise.
You know, we're really getting sick of the rain. But unfortunately, the greenhouse, well, fortunately, I guess, the greenhouse is one of the few places on the homestead the last few days, or the last couple weeks almost, where the rain isn't falling on our heads. So, we count it as a blessing to have the greenhouse to come out and do some videos for you guys, so you don't have to see us sitting in front of the wood stove every day.
Or in front of the cast iron pots.
Right. So you guys, the last part of this is for us to pick 5 other channels to also answer these questions. So we're going to name a few channels that we think we'd really like to hear their answers from.
We're going to start with Al from Lumna Acres. He inspired me this year to get going, starting my seeds. I saw him starting his celery seeds, and then just recently I saw him and his family starting his tomato seeds. So I'd love to hear his answers. So we'll start with Al.
The next one is going to be Heidi and Mr. Rain over at Rain Country. They have a great channel. If you guys haven't checked it out, definitely go check out Rain Country.
And Jason from Cog Hill Farm.
Dutch over at Keeping It Dutch, not too far away, just a state away over in Oklahoma.
And lastly, we'd like to hear from Eric from the African Homestead out in Liberia.
Right. If you haven't checked out Eric's channel, he moved his entire family from the United States to Liberia to be a missionary and is now homesteading in Liberia. Awesome channel.
Absolutely.
So you guys, that's it. We hope you enjoyed this. We hope it gave you a little more insight into who we are and why we do what we do. Until next time, you guys, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, comment, and share this video. And until next time, thanks for stopping by the homestead. Take care, and God bless.
God bless.